I wasn't mad when he did the megachurch shit. I thought it was a good review. Like
Drewski, Drewski's a free thinker, man. Drewski is one of
free
those
thinking.
guys who
He's
really,
a comedian, parody guy, and I can't be mad. He like what he did with the parody of like the mega churches. Yeah,
it was
that's
true.
a real like like an honest parody of the mega. Like it was real. That was not out of like that wasn't shock and awe. That was real. That was real criticism and honest parody of the mega church. Because like they take they take money from people. They have millions of dollars, bro. They have a massive organization, and they take money from basic like low level you know
Yeah, people that need the money sometimes they
followers.
give it up thinking they need to do it when it's
Yeah,
not about. It's
they
about your
don't need
relationship
it.
with God, not needing to get to heaven. Some people
And
actually
yeah,
feel like they feel like they need
100%.
to give their money up, and that's not always the case, man.
Yeah, and he kind of showed it off like on the nose, like he's driving off in the Rolls Royce, like get the fuck off my car, like it's
Yeah,
wild. Yeah, but he
and
was he was really like because
if a
that is
pastor,
what it is.
that's crazy. That's crazy. Well,
And
let's look at.
yeah, let's look at this stuff.
I'm gonna have Wanda stand up here. Wanda, please.
Oh,
And
Wanda.
that's actually happened. Like pastors will
No,
actually
this is
pay
real shit. This is
payments.
real stuff.
But why is there that money going to that? That's the question, bro. Like it's a
It's
waste.
it's it's these pastors in these mega churches have unbridled control over their communion, and they just take whatever they can take without any governance over like what is responsible, what is reality, what is necessary. They're just taking to take, and they're gonna get another private jet, and they're gonna. It's not. I I see. I believe in God. I believe in church, communion, community. But you can't be stealing. You can't be taking money from the impoverished to feed yourself in the name of God. That's not really. That's you're stealing. You're stealing money. You're stealing money from
It-
people that need it for
It's
themselves. That really need it.
it's a deception though for sure. But
Yeah, with the name of God, you're stealing with the name of God. Like it's the most horrendous crime you could possibly commit. Because you're using God to commit crime, really, like literally, you're stealing from people using the name of God. It's not right.
and you know what too? There's some people they'll act like they got land in heaven or something of that nature, and they'll get people to spend money, or they'll say, "Hey, you have to give 10,000 a day or 1,000 a day because God
Uh,
said you should be obedient." Now
right, right.
that's direct manipulation
That's
for sure. That's satanic for sure. Like, you know?
there is no written amount in the Bible, the Torah, the Quran, the Bhagavad Gita, whatever holy text you choose to follow. There's no written amount. You're supposed to give what you can. If you can't give, you don't give. You just pray. Like, but you
Yeah,
like the idea like a church pastor can come and demand a value, like demand certain. It's insane. You can't. That's not real. That's God wouldn't even accept that.
right.
You have to take care of yourself and your family.
And when it comes to the Bible, in the Old Testament, it used to say give 10%, but in the New Testament, after Christ died and atoned for our sins, that law
Right.
was removed. So it's not like you have
Yeah.
to give 10%. People have to
These
realize you don't have to, bro. Like
these
it's up to you.
pastors have no
Give it
standing.
to your heart. Yeah,
They have no standing to demand anything.
yeah. But one
If you
thing
give,
too,
you give from the kindness of your heart.
the Bible warns about certain people in the church too. It says in 2 Corinthians 11:14 through 15, it says Paul warns that Satan disguises himself as an angel of light. And so there's people they act like they're servants of God, but they're actually, disguising themselves. So you got to be
Yeah,
really careful, man. So if a, if a
100%.
pastor if a pastor's making you feel like you have to give to go to heaven, then obviously, bro, you have
It's
to
not
make
real.
sure you're God for yourself, bro, because that's not God.
You
But
have to
yeah,
take care of your family first.
you got to. That's what God wants you to do.
That's what God wants. Of course, whatever religion you are, God wants you to protect and provide for your family first.
Yeah, definitely got to. But yeah,
But this
this was a
funny.
ridiculous. But let's go to the Erica
Hilarious.
Kirk. Let's go to the Erica Kirk. That was the
Oh,
most recent Druski skit, and he actually did Whiteface.
yeah, and a lot of white people are talking about what if we did blackface? It's a totally
Yeah.
different thing. It's not even the same thing. It's not even the same thing.
Well, technically, it seems the same, like the same thing, like on the surface level, but history-wise, it's way different.
Historically, yeah, exactly. Yeah, historically, it's not the same thing. You can't. The fact that the initial response to this was like, "What if we did this in blackface?" And like, well, they're like pointing out, like, "What if we, like, acted as if we were Michelle Obama and black?" No, fam, that's not the reaction you would want.
Right.
This, I mean, yeah, you might not like what this is, but the immediate reaction is to what? Point to Michelle Obama is that what if we did this in blackface? It's a
Right.
totally different thing.
It is different. But this
Totally
video right
different.
here, this is a pretty good channel. The truth is, they
Yeah.
got like a 10-minute video here. Let's see what's going on with this Druski skit.
Down the hidden details in this skit to see exactly what he revealed and why the internet is having a total meltdown.
In what ways have you grown closer to Jesus?
I serve a righteous God. And that is why we say our prayers. We are all his children. But when I say children, I mean like the holy blessed.
Yo, bro, is this not cringe to you?
No, it is. It is. It is.
Look at that. That's Druski's face under there, bro.
First of all,
Yo, what the hell?
He really went in, bro. I don't know what the budget was for this, but he spent money, bro. He spent money on this, bro. That's 6 figures worth of shit going on here. He really locked the fucking.
Druski makes skits at a whole nother level that I don't think most other content creators could even sniff, bro.
Nah, this is like Key and P level, Dave Chappelle level worth of shit. Like he's really spending money and building worlds around his skits. Like for real, this is insane. He really went out.
Like in my opinion, bro, I think Druski might be like once in a generational type of comedian because of how he does.
Yeah, if he keeps up on this level, he'll be at that Chappelle, Key and Peele sketch comedy level for real.
But you know why? But you know why though? It's because of the level of what he's taking it at. He has nails on. He has a ring on. He has a wig on. He has makeup on. He has a Bible and a microphone in his face. Like this is ridiculous.
100%. But it's just the level. Like this is a deep level of commitment. I remember the last sketch was the mega church, which was funny as hell, and it was poignant. It was important. It was realistic. It was poignant. This is a different. This is a different level. Who saw this coming? I didn't see this coming.
I didn't see this one coming. The last one, I understood it. I got the message. It hit home. And I think a lot of they understood. Like, okay, he had a point. You know,
he did.
This one is like This is throwing me for a curveball.
Kinda has a point with this too. I mean,
let me know. Let me know you want to stop it, man, because this one's gonna be. I can already
keep going.
tell.
I want to watch.
Yeah.
Message for you, which is why I hold the Bible.
Many are calling for Druski to face repercussions for his parody of Erica Kirk. They claim he finally crossed the line and that his skit was distasteful and offensive. But the question is, are they mad because he was wrong or because they know he was right? Now, I understand why some think he's out of pocket. After what she went through, some feel she should be the last person he's joking about. But the reality is, she made herself a target with these over-the-top antics. You can't expect the public to feel your pain when you don't seem to feel it yourself. If you're walking out to events with music blasting and fireworks flying...
This is an important point. She made herself the most public persona after... Charlie, I didn't agree with him all the time, but I respected Charlie Kirk. I wish he did not deserve to die. He was a good man.
Especially the way he did.
And he didn't deserve to die. But she made herself the central figure when after his passing, she didn't hide. A normal spouse, a normal wife would have maybe hid, maybe just kept with her family, wouldn't have become the public face of the organization, the CEO,
Hey, yeah,
president.
spotlight.
But she made herself number one. She put herself in the front of everything.
She did.
And she walked out at every event. She spoke at every event. She gave speeches. She made herself, which, by the way, I'm not knocking her for that. Like, she has it's her husband built from the ground up. She has every right to do that. But if you do that,
how do you do that while you're sleeping, though? That's my thing.
Deal with the other side of that, which is, fam, your husband just died, and now you're on the front stage. Like, there's gonna be some criticism. There's gonna be some negativity.
Because most people deal with it. The back seat. Once you're grieving, why are you taking?
Why aren't you grieving? Why aren't you quiet? Why aren't you at home with the babies? She has like two kids, small children. Like, what are you doing? And she was very strong, powerful. I'm out here. I'm not gonna stop, and that's cool. That's great, and I support you. But the other side of that is, like, you're gonna deal with this negativity. Like, bro, like, your husband just was murdered in front of the world, and you don't seem to really. I mean, I don't know. It's how we feel about her reaction, but it's like you don't really seem that like traumatized by any of it. Like, you seem like pretty normal.
Especially she was there too, bro. She's seen it happen.
You were there. Your kids were. Well, I don't know if she was there, but I know. Like, how do you explain that to your kids? How do you explain that visual to your children? You can't, and they're young. They're small children, so you can't really even explain it.
That's the tough part of it.
Then there's the videos on, like, she's on group video calls, Zoom calls with the people in Turning Point. And she's like smiling and laughing and doesn't look good. That doesn't look good.
That's the problem too. Like, once you're in a situation like that, when you're with somebody that's as charismatic and as politically involved as Charlie Kirk, people are gonna look at you, and if you're not looking like up to par to how you're supposed to be acting, things like this was gonna happen. And I think at some point, people will see the truth of what really happened,
And I don't even blame her, dude. I think, like, she's just trying to get through what's going on. I don't think she has some sort of like I'm thinking this way, I'm doing this thing. But, like, people are gonna think what they're gonna think, and if they have expectations on, like, what grief is and how you should react to certain things, and you don't seem to really, I mean, honestly, this is just, you don't really seem to be grieving at all.
Right. Remember, maybe they could have been like,
and maybe you're stronger than everyone. Maybe you're more, you're stronger than everyone, and you're more powerful than anyone, and you're good. You got it. I'm under control. I don't have to show I don't have to express my emotions. I'm fine, whatever. But the fact of the matter is, Charlie was a beloved figure in the world, in America, especially in America.
Yeah, definitely. So hopefully she can keep.
You don't seem to be reacting at all to his death in a grieving manner.
Yeah, man, she's like stone faced.
So yeah, I don't know. You don't seem to be reacting at all in a grieving manner to his demise.
Yeah, she's like taking over a Turning Point, like you said, though.
There's a lot of things where she's happy. She's like laughing and smiling and like, oh, Turning Point is man. Which I get. Yes, it's a big business, but like,
she's richer and more. She's richer.
I even understand. I know Candace Owens had a problem with you taking over.
That's the thing, though, too. She's richer and more famous than ever, too. Like, I think she's just, she was sad for a couple of days, but she's happy as shit. She's rich as hell. She's famous. She took over. Now she can go talk to who she really wants to talk to, allegedly.
I agree. That's not good.
It's great for her, dude. Just look at her, man. She got her hair done in this clip, man. Looking out at the big crowd.
And all of that makes Candace Owens seems right.
Yeah.
Like, everything Candace is saying seems right.
You can't see her face, but I know she's cheesing ear to ear right here, bro. Just loving it.
No,
Just
she was.
so
I watched it a lot. Charlie, I didn't
Firebird,
agree with Charlie all the time, but I respected Charlie. I thought he was doing some good work for America's youth.
Oh
She was
yeah, he was.
smiling her ass off in this picture. I remember
She's-
watching. I watched this live. She was cheesing for sure.
Wow.
And then
That's
Trump
crazy.
walks out. Trump walks. That's the other thing. Trump walks out. He's cheesy. He's smiling, but he's like Trump is Trump. He's like, there's a crowd. He's happy. He's happy to see a crowd. And then they hug, and they're cheesy. I don't. Yeah, it was.
Saying, bro, like literally,
All I will say is this: I'm
It was
happily
smart.
married. I love my wife.
everybody
If
was
my
smiling.
wife was like this after I died, I would be fucking cursing her from hell, from heaven or hell, whatever the fuck I was. I would be cursing her from heaven or hell. I would be. This is no way to react to my demise.
Divorce her. You would be
You're my wife.
divorced. Literally, bro. You'd be tight.
There's no. Would you if you were married? Would you want your wife to react like this to your
She
demise?
reacted She reacted like shit, dude. She reacted like she had like 3 other guys and like she was texting, bro. Like she just reacted shitty.
Insane behavior, bro. I would be cursing her from heaven, or wherever I am. I would be cursing her.
Well,
This
if you're in
is
heaven,
insane.
bro, at that point, you just gotta be like, bro, she's just a complete L.
If I was in
Like, she
heaven, I'd be even more pissed. Like, I'm in heaven and you're doing this.
Well, at that point, bro, she might not be good making it with you up there.
Yeah. Let's play it. Let's play it. Let's see what she's saying. What's she saying?
Let's see what's going on.
Like it's the 4th of July. You aren't projecting grief. This skit was edgy at worst and quite accurate at best. Druski was only able to make this content because she performed it first. Let's go over the skit
Yeah.
part by part so you can see what I
Fairly.
mean. The skit starts with Druski hitting the stage dressed as Erica Kirk. He's in the mask, the wig, and those blue contacts. At a glance, he does look like a slightly heavier Erica. We see him dancing in front of sprinklers while music plays. This was a direct callback to the moment Erica walked out with a full pyrotechnic show, waving at the crowd and smiling like it was a sold-out show at the Garden. To many, it seemed too performative, and people quickly compared it to a WWE superstar's entrance. Druski embodied this to a T. The same personality shifts between smiling and frowning from one second to the next, and the over-the-top pyrotechnics and loud music that made it all feel like a concert. So, as ridiculous as this video is, it was a spot-on reenactment. In the next part, we see Druski at a press conference. He's asked about a serious global crisis, and he responds with a performative.
You peeped that sign he threw up just there?
What's up?
You peeped that sign he threw up?
The
Look at that shit. See it?
yeah. She was doing that the whole time. The
Bro.
whole time.
She's in it, bro. She's in that.
She was doing that shit with Trump on stage. She was doing that shit. I remember that. I remember watching that.
You gotta watch
She was
out for
hitting that
things
shit.
when it comes to these elites and these the
Yeah.
top 1%. That's I'm telling you, man, this is it. That's what they do.
And he responds with a performative awe, and I'm praying for them. This was a call to Erica being asked the same question and basically responding the same way. That same performative overreaction comes off as disingenuous. He also did a specific hand gesture during this part, which I think is extremely important, and we will come back to that in a bit. In this part of the video, Druski is doing an interview while flaunting a Bible. He's asked what's his thoughts on Jesus are. He responds by staring into the camera and saying the most generic religious affirmations, all while capturing Erica's signature haunting look. This is directly pulled from an interview she recently did, where the entire time she held the latest TPU book she was selling while talking about her husband. Even though the conversation.
Bro, she's using her husband to make more money. Like her husband.
She's built. Yeah, I think after Charlie's death, TPSU made like $250 million.
Whoa.
$250 million in net revenue. Net revenue they made.
And that's just
insane
because
money. They never made that money before. They never made that kind of money before.
Wow.
She made $250 million in profit after his death. Easily.
And people think that she's not excited. I mean, her reaction is just not. It's not him, bro. It's not
Her
him.
children's trust funds went through the roof. If they have it, I don't even know. If she's keeping all that shit, I don't know what's going on. But she made a shit ton of money up. And also the whole thing of, I think
Shout out
when
to her
they
though.
when the board of directors of TPSU declared her the heir to the company, like the next president, the next CEO, I think they were doing that to put a figurehead in place where they could rip that organization dry of money. They put a figurehead in place, and they're robbing that organization dry. Because Charlie's goal was to expand the Republican voter base.
Yeah.
Whether or not I agree with that objective is irrelevant, but that was his objective.
Yeah.
I don't think I mean, is that their objective now? Are they doing all the work that he did to expand the Republican voter base to this day? I don't see it. I don't think that's happening.
So
What I do
essentially,
know
she's not
is they're making a shit ton of money.
living the dream that Charlie wanted. She's kind of like
Yeah.
leaving to the wayside.
Well, they're not spending the money in the way Charlie would have wanted. Charlie wanted to expand the conservative Republican voter base, especially among the youth. Are they doing that? I don't see it. I don't see the work being done to
Well, it's definitely
propagate that.
a lot. If they are doing it, it's definitely slowed down a lot for sure.
Slow down because nobody's sitting in that nobody's sitting in that tent. Nobody's sitting there on that table answering questions and talking. And even if they were, yeah, I get it. Yeah, you might be scared, but even if they were, they're not doing. It's not Charlie. And here's the other thing: the second Charlie died, I guarantee you that organization made $500 million in the immediate weeks. The immediate weeks after his demise, they made at least $500 million. Where did that money go? Where did they spend it? Who did they spend it on?
It's a shell company. It's going somewhere though. It's not all going to her either. It's definitely getting split up.
Whoever's on their board of directors, bro, they took that money to their house. They went home with that shit.
Yep.
And I don't even blame them. If I was on that board of directors, I would have said, "Yo, that's our money. Let's take it." I don't even blame him. But the fact of the matter is, you were named you were named the heir apparent. You were named the CEO, the president, the chairman of the company. That's your responsibility. You had to make sure that money is spent wisely.
That's true.
If I'm a regular ass board member and I want, look, we made $500 million. I'm taking $100 million home. 5 of us, we're gonna split $500 million. Let's each take $100. Let's go home. I don't mind that. But you as the wife, the heir apparent, the head of this company, you have to stop that from happening. You have to stop that. You have to be like, no, that money is going to be spent on this, this, and this.
You got to care more about what her husband wanted. I mean, all that money. Her husband died, right? And there was a benefit from it as far as financial. Let's just be honest. It's called spade a spade.
Second he died, their valuation went up. TBC, their net worth went up by $2 or $3 billion.
You got to spend
their
the money.
Cash flow went up by $500 million.
Right, like you got to spend money on what he wanted, at least half of it. If they made $500 million, right? At least spend half of that money, which is like a $250 million. You spend half of that and then do what he wanted, at least bare minimum. You feel me?
But she went on a fucking book tour.
Crazy, bro. Just look at this video, bro.
Here's the thing about the book tour, right? It wasn't about the book. It was about her. She was selling herself. I don't even know what book she was selling because she was introducing herself to America. That's what she was doing. That book tour was not a book. It was a. I'm Erica. How are you? That's what the tour was. I'm Erica Kirk. Let's talk. She was introducing herself to the world.
So what do you think she wants? Like, what do you think is next for her? Like, just an influencer, or like
she whatever TPUSA does. See, right now we don't even know what it is right now. But next election is when we have to watch. The next federal election, 2028, is when she will really stick out. She will take over Charlie's place.
Right.
She will be running Turning Point USA.
Right.
And every college debate, campus, she'll be there. She'll be there. She'll be
Okay.
online. She'll be on the campus. She'll be everywhere.
Damn.
And I'm gonna say this, and I don't. This is kind of. I mean, maybe it's messed up for me to say, but I
Hey, man.
truly believe when it came to this organization, Charlie Kirk, he was not a controlled person. He was not controlled by anybody.
Well, let me put it like this. In my
But
opinion,
right
I feel
now,
he was controlled in the beginning. I believe he did have some control over him, but as a man of God, Charlie started to have conviction of the Holy Spirit, and he started to go a little bit rogue. And for his
yeah,
type of acumen and his amount of influence he had with the youth and his popularity growing, they could not take that risk in him being a rogue state, bro. Like, because I
they
ain't
had
gonna
to get
lie,
rid
bro,
of him.
Jewish people, he was like, if you're not riding with their interest and you are like a let's say a heavy hitter in society,
Mm,
it's not going to go well for you, bro. Like, let's say hypothetically, a couple of guys doing a stream, they blow up, they're heavy hitters. All the youth is kind of looking to them to see what they got to say about said issue. Boom, we caught on the radar of the federal government and state governments. They're definitely
right.
going to make sure that we don't get too far out of a certain path. You feel me?
But you would agree that she is Erica Kirk is co-opted. She's
Allegedly,
not
allegedly.
allegedly. Yeah, allegedly. But I don't think. Well, there's a lot of bullshit that even she said. Like, oh, we met. Like, oh, Charlie loved Israel when we loved Israel, and we met on the Israel. Which, yeah,
Come
maybe
on,
they
bro.
met on an Israel trip.
We,
But
we
how
both
he
know.
felt the last few months of his life, he did not feel the same way about Israel than she did.
Hell no. That's a cap.
And that's what
I don't,
That's the whole thing what Candace is saying. That's the whole thing. Like, well, I mean,
bullshit.
basically everyone but her is saying,
Yeah,
and isn't it
that,
just?
yeah,
It's very. I don't know. It sort of just falls into line how he was murdered. He was murdered at a point in time that fit a certain group's, you know, what they wanted
yeah.
to happen on right on schedule.
Oh man, it was right on schedule, man. Like
Right on schedule.
it,
Right on
it definitely
schedule.
was. Because you know what?
And
In my opinion, he had to be taken out before the war. Because if he was around while this shit was going on, it would have definitely had some challenging interest for sure against
oh,
what
he
we're doing.
would have been talking about yeah. And I don't even that's the funny thing. He was a different level than I was because I don't even really disagree with the war because I think Iran is a failed state and they do cause terrorism and the leadership of that country should be removed, should be taken out of the picture,
But then
and the
again,
Iranian people should be freed from the oppression of the IRGC.
right.
I don't know what the future of that is. I don't know how that works out in the future. Like if we just leave tomorrow, how does that work? I don't know. But I think the people of the Iranian people should be freed from the IRGC.
But why is the US getting
I guarantee you,
involved?
Charlie would have been like, this is a mistake for this, and this reason. And no one is arguing that point of view at TPUSA. They're just like full on Israel, like they're full on they're on one, they're not even all Charlie wanted from my point of view. And I
Yeah,
don't know. I never met Charlie. I didn't know Charlie. I respected him. I think he had a positive voice in terms of discourse in America, but I never met him. I never knew him. But from my point of view, what Charlie wanted was two healthy sides of argument, two knowledgeable, positive, healthy sides of any conversation. And when it
yeah,
came to this, he would he wanted for sure he would have wanted someone to speak on behalf of Israel and pro pro interventionalist side versus anti-interventionalist at all. But I would say like he probably would want someone to speak against him in this point in time, like to have that conversation, to have that argument, to have that fight. But
Well, he
right
would definitely
now,
be speaking against him for sure.
TPUSA is all on one side, and no one is fighting against him. And the media of the day is all on that same side.
It's biased.
It's biased. There's no one fighting against that. The people fighting against that narrative are all like average Americans. The problem is those average Americans are also the same people that are fighting in favor of illegal immigration. So they're like contradicting their own thing. They're a contradiction. So their point of view does not elevate to the point of fact where there's a conversation to be had. There's an argument to be had.
It's nullified.
It's nullified. So because they're arguing like, we shouldn't fight in Iran because we also want illegals to stay in the country. Like, well, that's fucking crazy. But that's their argument. They're one side on that shit. So it's like, no, I'm sitting here. I'm in the middle. I want the illegals to be removed from America. On the same side, I don't want the IRGC to keep spreading terrorism and oppressing humanity. But I also don't want us.
It doesn't benefit America
to be in the combat. I don't want us to be involved.
Right. And I think the way Charlie Kirk would look at this war is he would be more against Israel and their interests. He'd be more of protecting American people and their interests. That's where he would likely go. And he would be like, why is America risking their money, their time, their resources in fighting a war that has nothing to do with us? It's more about Israel. That's where I think he would go. And that's when you have Jewish people like, that are big timers, right? Heavy hitters as far as political and money and all that. They're going to be like, fuck you. We love Israel. Let's kill him. I think that's why he's dead, bro, is because when you talk like you are against what the main people have in charge, they're going to kill you, bro. Like, that's just how it goes. It happens with everybody that has a free mind and a following. If you have a big free mind and a following and you're against the establishment, they're gonna kill you eventually, bro. It's just how it happens.
And they knew that. They knew that about Charlie. They knew about Charlie. And here's the funny thing, right? Because of Erica, they turned his death, they turned him into a martyr for their cause.
Bro, and honestly, bro,
Erica is not speaking out against anything.
And martyrs they're remembered forever. That's why I respect martyrs.
They turned their worst enemy, because he was a strong opponent of American interventionalism. He was stronger than me. I might have even agreed to some level of interventionalism because we're America, with the most powerful country in the world, with the largest empire in the world. Let's fight. Cool. He was even against that. He was more against interventionalism than me, you, anyone else. And they turned their worst critic into a fucking martyr for their cause.
Yeah, and honestly, bro,
his wife,
in my opinion, bro, we shouldn't have got
fighting for that shit.
I don't think we should have got involved in this war, bro. Like, it wasn't a pressing issue enough to get involved for us, in my opinion. I don't
know if it was I think at a certain point, maybe we do have to solve this problem. Maybe we do have to take it the Ayatollah, the IRGC. Maybe we do. Maybe it's up to us. But I guarantee he wouldn't want it. He wouldn't want it. Charlie Kirk wouldn't want it.
No.
But his wife is not doing anything to avoid to walk away from that point. Yeah. I disagree. I was like, maybe it's up to America to take out the IRGC, take out the Ayatollah. Maybe it's up to us. But I guarantee you he didn't want that. But his wife is not doing anything to supplant that fact. She is full locked in.
She's doing 0%, bro. She's
to
doing
Israeli point of view,
was about him.
she's not
She
saying a lot.
seemingly was more focused on selling a product. It's why people feel that Erica uses religion as a marketing ploy. The book she was promoting was literally called Stop in the Name of God. To many, her dramatic over-performances.
This lady,
That's a crazy title.
wow.
That's a crazy title for a book, bro. That's insane. Stop in the Name of God is a nutcase. That's an insane title for a book.
Wow.
No matter what religion you are, that is an insane title for a book.
That's interesting there. She's making money off all of this, man.
Stop
Like
in the Name of God is a crazy title. I don't care what religion you believe in. That is a crazy title for a book. Stop in the Name of God? No, I will continue in the name of God. What the fuck? What are you talking about?
that's ridiculous. I guess she was talking about how her husband got shot. Stop in the name of God, but it's interesting. She's really trying to. I mean, I guess Charlie Kirk, would he mind her making all this money though? What do you think? Like,
If I was Charlie, okay, no,
that's a valid
because
point.
all the money goes to money goes to my children. So no,
Yeah.
I wouldn't care. You're right. I would not mind it. But you know what? I would have a problem. I would have a problem if she is going against everything I believed in.
Yeah.
Because I made money. I've made millions of dollars believing what I believed in. Believing in God, believing in my word, believing in my beliefs. You're going against everything I believed in to make more money. My beliefs would have made money regardless. I would have continued to make millions without you changing anything. So I think absolutely he would definitely have a problem because he was Charlie Kirk was not a greedy man. He was not a money hungry, like greedy. He wanted to earn a living for sure, and he wanted to make good money.
That wasn't
he was not a greedy, money hungry guy.
Right.
So I think he would for sure have a problem with this shit.
Yeah.
Especially if he saw where it was today, where we're at war with Iraq.
He would have a problem with the business for sure, not the money.
100% He 100% would have a problem. This is not
Make her religious identity seem disingenuous, just like Druski embodied perfectly. Erica Kirk used the Bible and religion as a prop. She, like many leaders nowadays, sells a message instead of teaching it. This skit instantly reminded me of his last viral moment when he exposed the theatrics of the prosperity gospel. That was another moment where he again divided the people and sparked outrage. But like I said when I covered it, I couldn't be mad at Druski. If there weren't so many people guilty of commercializing the gospel, the skit wouldn't have hit so hard. It's the same way I feel
100%.
about this Erica Kirk situation. If she wasn't out here turning this into the Erica Kirk show, Druski wouldn't have anything to parody. While some feel like this skit was an attack on faith, I feel like exposing wolves in sheep's clothing isn't an attack. It's a service. Now, it's time we talk about those hand gestures Druski made when he mentioned praying. Look at Druski's hand. He's throwing up this gesture. Now, obviously, this was a reference to the moment she herself threw up that gesture in front of a crowd.
Yeah.
When this happened, it sparked massive debate online, with people suggesting it was a sign used by certain occult groups, while others argued it meant "I love you" in sign language. But I don't think Druski did this gesture by accident, as he was talking about praying.
All the soldiers and troops.
That's great that you're praying, but
They made sure everyone focused on the hand. They literally zoomed in on it. I believe he was trying to imply that while she is talking about God, she is using symbols associated with a completely different entity. Druski wasn't using that gesture to say "I love you." He was suggesting she's a deceiver. She's claiming to be one way while secretly representing the opposite. At the end of the day, we have to ask, why did Druski zoom in so intentionally on that hand gesture? While the mainstream is arguing over whether it's a sign language or a simple accident, we know that in the level of high-level performance, nothing is an accident. By placing that specific gesture in a scene about prayer, Druski is hinting at an inversion. He's suggesting that while the mouth speaks of the creator, the hands are signaling to the adversary. It's the ultimate hallmark of a deceiver, someone who uses the light to disguise their message of darkness. Honestly, Druski held up a mirror.
That's a fact. It does talk about that in the Bible, like, angel of light.
That's not is that not like a peace sign? It's a different sign. It's a different symbol.
Yeah, the peace sign is like this, but
Yes,
I
yes,
get
yeah.
sign language saying that means love, but that looks more like the Baphomet horns.
Kind of looks like devil horns or something. Like I don't know.
Yep. Yeah,
It's like rock and roll, right? That's like rock and roll, like
yeah,
Stevie,
yeah,
like that's like rock and roll shit. Like the Megadeth, like I don't
yeah.
know,
Like the
Steven
rock,
Tyler would throw that shit up. Steven Tyler would throw that shit up, rock and roll.
right? It's interesting. She does throw that up kind of often though.
Hell, a lot.
Yeah,
Mirror that reflected Erica accurately. You can't deny her antics seem over the top and strange for someone in her position. It seems like she's more focused on cashing out than actually fulfilling the mission. Now, I do want to point out that what Druski is doing is in a way dangerous to the Christian movement. By making these skits, it might seem like he's negatively stereotyping the faith. While he's calling out these individuals, we have to acknowledge that they are horrible examples of what it means to be Christian. These megachurch pastors, and especially Erica Kirk, aren't a true representation of your local church. These are figures who commercialize religion and use it to enrich themselves. Now, should we be outraged? Yes, but I don't think it should be directed at Druski. The person they should be calling out is the one he was mimicking. If you go back and watch her interviews from the past month, notice where her hands are. Even when she's discussing the most painful moments she went through, she is consistently holding her latest TPU book. Is she remembering him, or are we witnessing a problem?
So the true intentions. It all goes back to the book that she's promoting. It seems like. You know what I'm saying?
No,
So
for real. No, it doesn't. I'll say this, bro. I'm gonna say this.
yeah,
They were married for what, 7 years? 6, 7 years?
yeah, under a
They
decade.
had 2 kids. Yeah, they had 2 kids. My wife and I have been married for less than 2 years. If
Yeah,
I died tomorrow, she
Yeah.
would be inconsolable for like the next 2 years. You wouldn't see her. She wouldn't leave her room. She would be inconsolable for at least 16 months. She was on stage 3 days
months.
later.
Wow.
No, my wife would be inconsolable. If I died today, she
Yeah.
would be inconsolable for at least a year and a half, 16 months.
Oh yeah.
You wouldn't see her. She wouldn't come outside. She wouldn't leave the room. I'm telling you. And that's not to say, she's not as she's an Indian girl. She grew up poor. She's not as strong as America. I get that. I get all that. But I guarantee you, there's nothing on God's green earth that would make her walk out on stage 3 days later, putting the hand up like I'm here. There's no fucking way on earth she would do that shit. And if she did, I wouldn't marry that bitch. I would not have married her.
Now I see what you're saying though. It's like, how did she come to this?
How did she go from a fucking nobody that was just a grateful, loving wife to within 3 days, I'm on stage, fireworks going off, and I throwing the sign up, love God, Charlie. That's insane.
It's almost like
so fast.
Maybe she was.
She went from the perfect conservative wife to a liberal influencer, like that.
Just like that.
Just like that. That happened like that. And now she's mad at Druski making fun of her. Fam, what you did was insane.
It was.
You went from like an idealistic conservative wife to the immediate liberal influencer that everyone thought you were. And you affirmed their ideas.
If Druski makes a skit about you, just know you're definitely bringing too much attention to yourself. By far.
Right.
That's a standard.
Product launch. To me, this is a clear sign of how disingenuous this all is. When the most sacred book, the Bible, and the most tragic events become background noise for a sales pitch, who is really being served here? In the video, he's asked a simple question about faith, and instead of a genuine answer, he stares directly into the lens with that signature wide-eyed haunting look. It's a look that says, I'm not talking to you, I'm talking to the camera. This is a frame-by-frame mirror of Erica's recent media tour. Druski captured that haunting look because it represents the mask of the persona. It's that blank, over-rehearsed stare that many people find unsettling. It's the look of someone who has memorized a script so well they've lost the human emotion behind the words. In the skit, Druski's generic religious affirmations feel hollow because they are hollow, and that's the point. He's showing us that Erica has become the ultimate representative of the brand. Just like the mega church pastors he parodied in his January prosperity video, the message has been replaced by the marketing. They aren't teaching the gospel, they're selling an identity. And as we saw in that previous skit where he was literally floating on wires in designer clothes, the more theatrical the presentation, the more you should look for what's being hidden behind the curtain. This is why the outrage from certain circles is so predictable. They claim this is an attack on Christianity, but is it? Or is it an attack on the commercialization of Christianity? I've always said that exposing a wolf in sheep's clothing isn't an act of hate, it's a service to the flock. If you're a person of faith, you should be more offended by a leader using the Bible as a stage prop than by a comedian pointing it out. Druski is using his platform to hold up a mirror to the performative antics that have taken over the faith. While he's clearly not doing it for the right reasons, we can't deny the reality of it all. It's only possible because we allow this. We support people like this. He's showing us that in 2026, the lines between a church, a political rally, and a WWE entrance have completely blurred. Erica Kirk isn't just a CEO. She's become a symbol of this new reality TV version of leadership where the fireworks matter more than the truth. Druski is simply the one who doesn't care about the backlash of making fun of.
So I was looking up who actually owns Turning Point USA now.
Yeah. Who is it?
I pulled up a list. This Vanguard Group, BlackRock, Aeromark, Thriven Financial, Geode Capital.
Oh.
Yeah, Morgan Stanley, Maple Rock. This is the group that owns Turning Point USA. Vanguard Group, highest shares. Which is expected. Every company is owned by Vanguard.
Yep. BlackRock too.
And I'm not gonna lie. I listen. I have a what's it called? A retirement fund that also is run by Vanguard. So I guess I technically own this company as well because I have like $25,000 in a Vanguard retirement fund that is divested. So, but yeah, this is insane. I didn't even realize they were public. Vanguard is a majority shareholder. BlackRock, Aeromark, Thriven Financial, Geode Capital, Morgan Stanley, Aero Street, State Street, Lord Abbott and Co., Madison Avenue. Yeah, this is a fully fledged fucking 501c3. This is an American corporation.
This was taken over.
100%. They're taking over. There is no unique quality about Turning Point USA. This is a owned and operated business.
So yeah, they're definitely 100%. Not going to be doing what Charlie Kirk wants at this point.
No, yeah, they're done. And I'm looking at this right now. When did they get? Hold on, let me see when Vanguard took over their shares. Yeah. Would you look at that file date?
I bet you Charlie, he got an offer to give it up. I bet you they told him, bro.
January 29th, 2026. They became controlling interest holders in this company.
Really?
BlackRock.
That was February
12th. Yeah, wow. It was like 2 months. BlackRock on February 12th, they became the second largest shareholders in the business. Aeromark Colorado Holdings LLC, which is also a big financial institution, February 17th, became the third largest institutional holders.
Crazy.
Morgan Stanley, February 13th, became a very large institutional holder. Aero Street Capital on February 13th.
Yo, one day we're going to do a stream talking about the CEO, all the major CEOs in the United States, man. Just see what the correlation is. Because it's interesting.
Oh, it'll be BlackRock, State Street, Vanguard.
Yeah.
And that's the wild thing. Like they don't even control their own companies. Like you could build a business up from the ground up, and you would not have control over your own business.
Nope.
And the second Charlie died,
Keep gaining power. They
it was
just
sold for parts. That his company was sold for parts
right to the highest bidder.
to the high and Vanguard, Straight Street, BlackRock. They took over.
You're always gonna have the highest bid too. So
They're always, and they're always going to own both sides. They're going to own the Democratic side. They're going to own the Republican side. Doesn't matter.
just like they own Pepsi, they own Coke. They don't care.
100%. They own everything, bro. They own RC Cola. They own all that shit.
Bro,
They
it's
even
like
own the third option.
it's like what don't they own? BlackRock, State Street, Vanguard. What
Well, that's the
don't
thing.
own?
They're hedge funds, right? So they're invested in everything that makes money. Anything that turns a profit, they're putting their money in.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. See, it would be one thing if they just put their money in and shut the hell up and went away. But they put their money in and then they influence the direction of that business.
And the economy.
Yeah. Well, if you can influence every business you're invested in, and you're the largest hedge fund in the world, you influence every business in the world.
So who runs the
So
world?
you direct policy of every corporation in the world. You're running everything. You're changing everything.
Right.
Because you're the largest shareholder of every major corporation. You can change any policy point you want. You can change it to whatever you see fit. And I'll say this.
Yeah.
I don't know what you felt about DEI, but I didn't like DEI. And we'll say I'm a person of color. I'm an immigrant. I didn't like DEI because DEI was they took off all of the greatness about you as an individual and they put that shit on your color. It made it seem like the only reason you're even in a room for an interview or anything is because of your color or your history, whatever. I didn't like that. I want to be seen for who I am and what I've achieved in my life.
It's like diversity inclusion. So it's like they don't want everybody to be like white working somewhere or everybody to be a certain color type shit. It's more like that.
But like what I would like if I owned a company, I would hire the best of the best to do any job.
Especially if it's
what color.
Especially if it's like something like a pilot, something like that.
Exactly, and that was like that's one of the things that Charlie gets to talk down all the time. For that like he made. Remember, I think there was a point when it was in a debate with a college student, and he was like, "I don't want my pilot being chosen by DEI. If I see a black woman pilot, I would be scared because that was a DEI hire." And that got taken totally negative. But the fact of the matter is, like, fam, like, I want if there's a black woman sitting in that pilot seat, I would be cool with that. If there was no DEI, I'd be out rock solid. Let's do it. Let's go, fam. No problem. But once you introduce DEI policy, and I see a black woman sitting in the cockpit, I'm like, wait, what the fuck just happened?
Well, if in all fairness, she could be qualified, but at the same time,
she could be 100%. But you created a DEI policy, which now I'm sitting there like, was she hired for DEI or was she hired for she? Because if there was no DEI policy and I saw a black woman in the cockpit, I wouldn't even give a second glance. Cool.
Yeah.
But once you create DEI as a policy, I'm sitting there like, wait, was she hired for DEI or is she a good pilot? It becomes that's a question now.
It should be more or less like you could do the DEI shit, but they still got to be qualified. They still got to
qualify. You can't change the metrics. You can't change. Same thing, like for example, there has never been a female that has passed a special forces test to join special forces in the U.S. military. This never happened. A woman has never become a special forces operative in the United States military. You know why? Because the tests are too hard.
Too physical, right?
They're too physically demanding. No woman, hell, fuck, I couldn't do it. You couldn't do it. We could not do. We can't do it. A woman is not gonna do it. There's no chance. You have to be at a different fucking level of man to do that shit.
Real quick, get in the gym.
We can't do it. She can't do it. No fucking woman on earth can do that shit. Is that DEI failing? No, we're not going to lower the metrics of our special forces for a woman to make it. It's not happening. Because this is
that's not going to happen.
They're the most important members of our military. They go in for the most important missions of all time, killing Bin Laden, the raid on Bin Laden, the Bakr al-Baghdadi, the fucking. They go in for the most important missions ever. We cannot lower the metrics for these people.
Right.
And no woman's gonna make it. I'm not a woman. I won't make it either. You won't. We're not gonna make 95% of humanity will never pass this test because we're not on that level. These are different men. They're killers, bro. They're Kobe. They're the Kobe, Michael Jordan of this shit. They're the killers of this shit. They're like the killers. They will die before they allow someone else to beat them. And that's what we want. That's what we want in our special forces. The rest of us, we're chilling. We're at home. We're chilling.
Yeah, that's true.
They will die before they let someone else beat them.
And I'm pretty sure they have they get trained up for that. It's not like overnight shit.
Up for it. They make it. They meet the metrics. They go through Hell Week. There's a Hell Week for special forces. They're basically testing their metrics of death. They're like every single day they're dying, but they have to survive.
It's mental. It's mental and it's physical.
It's a mental, physical examination. Will you survive this? And if they survive, they make it. If they don't, they're dead. And you'll get a report. You're at home, sitting at home. Oh yeah, your son died in a training exercise. He didn't try. He wasn't a training exercise. He died trying to make a special forces team, and he died. That's what happens. Wow. That's reality.
That's the reality for sure. Because you got to be. It's like survival of the fittest. How can you survive?
If you survive, you make it. If you don't, you're dead. You're a corpse, and your parents will see a report saying you died in a helicopter crash somewhere in the middle of nowhere. You didn't die in a helicopter crash. You died on an experimental test to see if you could survive, and you died.
This man said experimental. Sheesh.
Yeah.
That's
and if you survive, you make it. If you don't, you don't. That's what it is.
It's an experiment for sure. Sheesh.
And that is the metrics for special forces. And thank God that's the metrics, because those are the guys we need to go kill Bin Laden or go kill Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, whatever. Kill these motherfucking top 1 targets that are causing harm and they're killing. They're blowing shit up. Like the number 1 terrorist in the world. We need Navy SEAL 2-6, Army Rangers, Green Berets.
On arguably
the top of the top. We need those guys.
Nah, that's a fact though.
And if we lower the metrics to allow women to make that team, we're done. America, we're done. Our special forces are falling.
Yeah,
we have the most powerful military in the world for a reason. We don't negotiate on that shit.
But I mean, I will say this. In the past, gay people, or I would say this, homosexual people, they wasn't allowed in certain military departments, but now they can be in there now, so they're getting accepted.
Well, here's the thing: women can try out for special forces. There's no rule that's preventing them from trying.
Right.
But they don't make it. That's a test. If you make it, you make it. If you don't, you don't. The test is the test. You can be a woman, a man, gay, what doesn't matter. If you pass the test, you pass the test. If you don't, you don't.
Right. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
And that's all that matters. If you pass the test, God bless you. If you don't, you're a regular soldier.
Like you said, hopefully they
test. Right.
That'd be different.
Of it. This isn't just about Erica Kirk. This is about the serious problem in our modern church leadership. Whether it's a mega church pastor floating on wires in designer gear, or a political CEO using a tragedy in religion to launch a media brand, the pattern is identical. They create a uniform of faith to bypass your discernment. They know that if they hold a Bible and mention God, many will stop looking at their actions and defend them no matter what. If these figures weren't so committed to that performance, the parody wouldn't exist. You can't mock a grieving widow. but you can mock a brand that uses grief as a marketing strategy. We are living in a time where the mask has become the reality, and it takes someone like Druski to hold up a mirror to remind us that we're watching a show. So, I'll leave you with this. When you see these symbols being flashed on your screen, are you seeing a message of love, or are you seeing the signature of a deceiver? I want to know what you guys think. Was Druski wrong for this skit, or is Erica Kirk wrong for the way she's been representing?
Druski definitely not wrong, man.
No, he's not. Yeah, no, he's not.
Druski, honestly, he's just exposing the truth in a funny way, comedical way. That's all it is.
Yeah. He's not. No, it's a parody. It's a parody.
Right.
He's allowed to do it. There's nothing wrong with it. I don't have a problem with it.
Yeah.
Also, I thought it was hilarious. I laughed my ass off the first time I saw it. I saw that shit on Instagram. I was dying laughing.
Plus, it's not like he's not going for specific people. He's literally just going for whoever is making an ass of themselves.
He's going for that point of view, that whole personification, like that person. That like it's not specific to her. There's a persona of a person who uses anything to their gain.
Yeah.
And
well,
that's what he's.
I mean, he does. He got way more specific for her, though.
Yeah, he did. He did for sure. He did. And it was very. Yeah, for sure. He was at Erica Kirk.
Bro, Erica Kirk.
Fam, you did that. You did that. We didn't do that. You made it a public. You made yourself a public persona.
Yeah, that's true.
And really went out there like. You really were out there like, you know what I mean? Like, what do you expect? You know what I mean? And that's the thing. If you want to be a public persona,
right, you gotta have
to expect. Anything happen.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta have thick skin, and you have to expect that. And yeah, anybody can attack you. Anybody can come at you. You're not protected anymore. Before, you were the grieving widow. The second you decided to turn this into the Erica Kirk show, well, it became the Erica Kirk show, and now we're attacking the Erica Kirk show.
It's the Erica Kirk show now, man. Charlie Kirk's gone.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So, she's smiling, she's happy, and Charlie Kirk's vision, hey, like their own.
Insane.
It's insane, man. But it goes to show.
Bro, if I died and my wife was smiling at my funeral, what the fuck just happened, bro? I would be so pissed. I would be so angry. What are we watching? What am I watching? Why is my wife smiling?
Right. 3 days after.
Yeah.
Like within a week, she was out there.
It wasn't a normal death. He was murdered in front of the world, bro. That is insane.
Bullet to the neck, crazy.
He was assassinated.
Like it doesn't add up, man. Because she's.
Jackie Kennedy was in the back of the limousine collecting his brain and teeth, and you're smiling on stage. That's insane. Jackie Kennedy was in the back of the car collecting his teeth, JFK's teeth, and his brain matter. With blood on her dress, and she didn't take that dress off for 3 days. For 2 days, she was on the plane when Lyndon B. Johnson was getting sworn in with the blood and the brain matter on her dress. She didn't take that shit off. And what are you doing? You're on stage, like smiling.
It goes to show, bro, the women have changed over the course of time.
Women have changed, exactly. JFK was not as good as Charlie. JFK was out here fucking. He was doing some wild shit.
JFK was out here. JFK was out here.
Charlie Kirk is a good man. He's a good man. That's a good man. JFK was out here wilding, and Jackie was right there fighting to save her husband's pieces.
Fighting.
Like, gunfire. She's climbing to protect it.
And she could have got shot.
She could have died. She could have died so easily.
She could have got shot too.
Charlie Kirk is a good, honest man. Never cheated in his life.
Allegedly.
He's out here. Well, we don't know, but I'm assuming. I mean, he lived that life. He said he claimed to live that life, right? And we don't know anything from that. We don't know anything different, so we have to assume that. And you know, she's out here. What is she doing, bro? It's crazy. That's crazy.
I'm just glad she didn't do no bonehead shit and like move on fast in the public or no weird shit.
can't.
That'd have been so disrespectful.
If she moves on, her legacy's over. Her career's over. She can't.
Cooked.
It's same thing with like Vanessa Bryant, Kobe's wife. She cannot move on. That's Kobe's wife. You'll never move on,
Bro.
We won't allow that. We will not allow you to move.
It would be
It's the same thing. Funny enough, it's the same with Nipsey Hussle's wife, Lauren
Right.
London. You cannot move on, lady.
But if she
You
they
can't move on.
probably, to be honest though, they're probably getting cracked though.
100%. You're right. And as long as you keep that shit private, we're good. But you make that shit public in an instant, everything's over. It's a wrap. Your legacy is a wrap.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they got to keep that shit private. Because you're right. You're for sure. Vanessa's definitely getting cracked. Lauren London's getting cracked. Erica Kirk is probably getting cracked. Keep it private. Keep it private, lady. You make it public. The people
make
will
it
come
public.
for you.
It makes their
People will
man
come for you.
like if you're a fallen man, like bro, it just makes their fallen man looks bad. That's the problem.
Yeah, it looks bad. It looks bad. Yeah.
Yeah, good stream,
It's a
bro.
great-
Erica Kirk, she's definitely interesting case with her and whatnot. Interesting to see what will happen in the future or a turning point USA and whatnot, but we kind of see the direction it already has taken. So most likely we will not have to keep an eye on this situation, y'all, but it seems like it's kind of already solidified on the direction this has taken. But we'll keep updates on what Druski's doing and whatnot. He is one of those guys that represents society and what everybody's kind of thinking. But yeah, we appreciate y'all watching the stream. Peace and blessings and love. We are out.